2020 where you're just like, okay, you know that things are going to be bad, and you don't want to ask what's next, and then you hear what's next, and you're like, damn it all. Okay, so we're going to talk about stress today. Again, popular topic for 2020. We're going to talk about stress and politics and fitness and all that shit. So, I'm going to be real with y'all right now. Now, somebody asked me, if I keep politics out of my fitness business, and it's a interesting question. A lot of fitness professionals that I've worked with think that it is something that belongs out of the conversation, and I used to be in this camp as well. But the problem is that all fitness communities are communities, right? And you have to have some sense of camaraderie, in my opinion, to be held accountable to the things that you're doing. So while I don't discuss politics during a class, because the last thing we need to do when we're trying to get some fitness, some movement, some body movement, some positivity, and de-stress our lives for a moment, the last thing we need in that moment is to get fired up about politics. But I make absolutely no secret of the fact that I am a very left-leaning, progressive person, and so those of you who are watching know that I'm upset right now because our beloved Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed, which means that the politics is up to all kinds of fuckery to try to get somebody conservative up in there before the election, and I am just not living for it right now. There's so many freaking things wrong with this timeline, but I will tell you one thing that has been absolutely right. The thing that has saved me, that has kept me from losing my ever-loving mind, is exercise with friends, okay? So there's a lot of things that, if I'm going to step outside myself and take a view of what I've done so far in this year, like we've had to completely change, upheaval the business because of the COVID-19 thing, went from being a physical gym to an online coaching business and all this other stuff. So there's just so many moving parts, so much heartbreak, so many weird things happening. I'm of course very fortunate that my immediate family is healthy and well, knock on wood, stays that way. There's a lot of things to be grateful for, right? And we talked about gratitude journaling in a previous live and how beneficial that can be. Those reflective practices where you sit down and be like, you know what? All this stuff is bullshit, but the things that I'm really grateful for, here they are, right? And that keeps you positive and keeps you going, right? Yes, we want to enact change. Yes, we want to make the world different and better and all these things. And yes, I believe that a certain amount, there's an optimal dose of negativity and there's an optimal dose of stress. Just like there's an optimal dose of exercise, right? If you exercise too much and you're constantly breaking down those muscles, you are not going to get stronger. You're not going to be able to emerge from that a stronger, more fortified individual. If you are over exercising and over exerting yourself, you put the body under too much stress and you don't see that forward progress. In fact, you see backward progress. So as we are bombarded one day after the next with just crap news, and seeing those impacts actually trickle down to our friends, our family, those people who are close to us, those people who we love, we still have to stay strong for them, you know what I mean? And if we are going to take an active role in doing something to better the world, whatever that is for you, and I'm not going to be one of these people who just says oh, everybody needs to do this and do that, and be politically active in X, Y, and Z ways. Yes, please do vote. The basics. Come on, people, the basics, right? Unless you're a Republican, don't vote this year. Unless you're well, just don't vote for Trump. I don't care if you're Republican or if you're Democrat. Don't vote for Trump. It's not going to fix all of our problems. I wish it would. It's not going to fix all of our problems. But what I'm saying is, as we are bombarded with all of this bullshit, make sure to keep taking care of yourself and ratchet back the amount of bad news that you are able and or willing to take in. Coming up in a few weeks here, I haven't set a date on it, but I will soon, especially since I'm all fired up about it right now. We will be doing our social media detox, where we're ratcheting back where we are getting our daily stimulus from, both emotionally and intellectually, and being more deliberate about curating those avenues by which we receive news and opinion and feedback, and making sure that we're making it to the exercise, to the live classes. So a couple of things that and this goes back to the question I was getting before, like, do I bring politics into the gym? I don't bring politics into the workout itself. In fact, we do like a question of the day, and the question is always designed to be super like silly, irreverent, and not so easy to like tie right into whatever is happening in that moment in the external world, right? We want to take, 20, 40, 60 minutes to ourselves to be able to like rejuvenate, de-stress, breathe heavy, get the let out with some friends. That is the purpose of the workout in and of itself. That said, beyond that, yeah, I absolutely make it no secret where I stand politically. In fact, the whole, there's a lot of things that I've done over the course of business and careers to make sure that we do have a somewhat curated community where we do have people who are comfortable with the fact that like they're going to be working out with other people who are not Nazis at the very least, right? Like that's the thing. When I, before I took this stance, we had a physical location before Trump was elected, and then politics got increasingly divisive leading up to that election, and we were made aware of the fact that we did have a very mixed population in our gym at that time. This was before Nerd Gym. This was pre-Nerd Gym. And in that moment we decided, this is not good, right? We want to make sure that we can create a community where these people can feel connected, at least on some fundamental things, right? Some things, especially since we're like working physically, we want to make sure that we can at least agree on some physical things, right? That like women have rights over their own body, for example, right? That's kind of a really fundamental physical thing that I feel like everybody who works out together should agree on one way or the other, right? And there are plenty of communities, and there are plenty of fitness communities that are very right-leaning, very traditional, and this is part of the reason why you have so much extremely gendered fitness, and the bro culture, and like, it just gets real weird real fast, in my opinion. Okay, so yes, I do curate our community. This is why I do the 15-minute one, like even now that we're in a totally online space, this is why I do the 15-minute consultations with each and every person before we begin. Now, I don't wish ill or harm on anyone, but I do want to make sure that the community that I provide, that we are a part of, is going to be the right community for that person coming in. They might not know, and if they don't know, that's okay, and I can guide them to some place where they will maybe feel more comfortable with their people, because again, I do believe that everybody who is going to be more physically active is going to ultimately come to a better understanding of their own selves, of the people around them. It makes you a more empathetic person, if you're an empathetic person to begin with. So fitness amplifies your personality. Whatever it is, good, bad, or indifferent, fitness will amplify that personality. So super important to me to create an environment where people who are getting their personalities amplified are not going to clash and butt heads. And furthermore, I do want to prop up people who are in a position to help other people. I do want to, like, that's why we have so many teachers at the Nerd Gym. I love helping teachers and people who help other people in their community, whether it's, artists. I love helping artists, people who have this impact on our culture, because when those people are stressed out, they are unproductive, right? The idea of the starving artist or the stressed out artist being the productive artist is untrue, right? Whether you are in a situation where you are, a part of a larger company or a part of a larger system or ecosystem that is going to help other people discover their true nature, we want to make sure that you are nurtured and feeling like you can be and project your best self, even if that's only for like your nuclear family, right? Like the people closest around you or the pets closest around you. Pets are people too, in my opinion. Right? So whatever you've got going on in your sphere, we want to make sure that exercise is playing the role of de-stress, right? That exercise is playing the role of strengthen, of uplift, not of breaking down, not of getting angry, not of competition, and not of strife. So I want to give a huge thank you to everyone in the Nerd Gym community who shows up for those live workouts, because it means a lot to me. Not only do I really enjoy helping individuals with things like their form and their accountability and all that other kind of stuff, but it means a lot to me personally. And even though I can't work out my hardest when I'm coaching because I've got to still be able to talk on the headset, I still really enjoy connecting with everyone and checking in with everyone. So big thank you for everyone who shows up. When you're not there, I think of you, by the way. If anyone who's watching this, who's a member, who hasn't been showing up lately, I am thinking of you. So I want you to show up. I want you to be there, be present, and de-stress with us. So yeah, I don't talk about political things directly within the context of the class, because we generally want to shake that off for an hour while we're de-stressing, right? So we can come back at it with a renewed sense of self, with some fortification, with the idea that like, okay, we can move forward through our day, and we just experienced living, like breathing, moving, like the life of our body. We experience that with other people who are supportive of us and the things we do and the things we believe, and that can give you a lot of ability to keep pushing forward, to keep moving forward. Exercise, in my opinion, that is its most important role for most people, right? Is the de-stressing aspect, is the strengthening aspect, is the reduced cause of all mortality aspect, right? It's the kind of thing that often gets put in the box of, oh, well, this is to look sexy, this is to look hot, it's a status thing, exercise is a status thing, and all those things are true, right? All those things are true about exercise. You will end up being more confident, which projects, those good, sexy vibes. You will end up being physically stronger, healthier, whatever, which projects those sexy vibes. But like, if that's not your main goal, if your main goal is like just living your life and not giving up on everything because it's too overwhelming, if you need to refocus, recenter yourself, that is the purpose of picking up a practice like a physical fitness routine, right? Picking up the practice of exercise. And that is how I like to think of it. I like to think of it as practice. I like to think of it as a way to recenter and breathe. Just breathe for a moment, literally, like not only mentally, but physically. Breathe, So yeah, and it gives me, when I do get fired up about things that are going on in the world, because I am not so physically exhausted, I can use that as fuel on the fire rather than like a smothering blanket, right? There's two ways we can take these outside stressors. We can take them as like lighter fluid on the fire, or like a heavy pot lid just bang, like smothering you, right? And there have definitely been moments, days, hours, moments, months. No, not months, fortunately, not full months, but definitely times during this whole pandemic thing that I have felt smothered, right? Where I've felt defeated, where I felt like, what's the point? Do I keep trying to do what I do? Does it even matter anymore, right? Is anybody gonna benefit from me continuing to go on? And if you've been there, if you've asked yourself this question, the short answer is yes, people will benefit from you continuing to go on. So like, get your shit together. But also, you know, you have to give yourself an actual break. You have to give yourself an actual break. And if that means turning off all of your social media, turning off your email, retreating from external stimuli and focusing in on yourself for a moment, you absolutely deserve that time. Don't feel like you cannot take that time for yourself. And then once you have done that level, doing the level of surrounding yourself with people who are actually supportive of you, the person, right? Not just of what you can do for them, but of you as the person that you are, right? That's, again, the importance of being in a good fitness community where it's not just, it's not just a status thing of like, oh, you know, I need all of, and I do, by the way, really appreciate it when y'all give me testimonials. It helps me out so much. Thank you for this. But there's a reason why I'm not constantly pestering you for them, right? When I do ask for them, it's few and far between, and when I do ask, it's because I really do need the help. But there are fitness communities where you're constantly being pestered to like, you have to lose weight, you have to give me before and afters, you have to do X, Y, and Z, because that is the thing that grows fitness businesses, and I get that. But the truth is, for at least the way I'm running the thing we're doing right now, the Nerd Gym community as it is, I am here for you as the person you currently are. And if the person you currently are is like not ready for a fat loss program or not ready for a major transformation, if you are just here for the de-stress and you are just here for the community, I don't need you to be something else so that I can hold you up and show you off like a trophy, right? You are your own person. You have your own reasons for engaging in fitness, and I am here for it. I am here to support you. So finding people who are supportive of you in that way, right? Not people who want you for like what you can do for them, but people who want to support you for who you are and who appreciate you for who you are. That is a huge component, I think, when there's so many things going wrong, generally speaking, in the world, that you surround yourself with people who are there for you for who you are. So whether that's friends, family members, don't be afraid to, and honestly, this is the perfect time. You've got great excuses right now for cutting ties with people who are leeching energy off of you, right? If you are unfortunate to have those people in your world who are all about what can you do for me, and and they're taking energy away from you for whatever reason. This is, for a lot of y'all, this is the perfect time to pull back from those relationships just a bit. And it's not to say that those people who are feeling that neediness are bad people, right? We're all feeling a little bit needy right now. We all need some extra attention, some extra love, but some people don't know how to ask for it, right? And it's difficult. One of my cats is like this. She's a sweetheart. Her name is Minerva. I don't have as many pictures up of Minerva on my social media because she's very shy, very skittish cat. And she needs a lot of attention. But she has the most like annoying me, like, yeah, yeah. Like when she wants attention, she asks for it in the most weird, awkward way. She's got really sharp claws. It's really hard for me to trim her claws. So like when you do actually like get her up in your lap or something, it's like, you know, the knives come out, right? So Minerva is like a lot of people in that way, right? You know, a lot of times people don't know how to get the attention they need. Maybe this is even you and you are kind of like realizing it right now. Again, it doesn't make you a bad person, but if you have been kind of reaching out for and clinging and grabbing at attention from people in a way that feels imbalanced to you, then maybe look at spending some more time on yourself, right? Taking time for yourself. I know that when I was in the throes of being the most, what I perceived at the time as giving, right? This was early in my motherhood, you know, cycle of being a mom. I've got two children who are adults now, by the way. So when they were younger, they're 24 months apart. You know, they're or 23 months apart, right? 23 months apart. So close in age. And when they were younger, I felt like I was, you know, just giving so much time and attention to them, to the dads, to the, you know, like I was just giving myself away. Like I didn't spend any time on me, and it was almost, in retrospect, it almost seemed like a status thing in a way, right? Like, oh, look at me, I'm so giving. I don't, you know, I don't do anything for myself. I'm sacrificing and giving and giving and giving. And then I would get really needy from other people too, right? And I would be like, where's my reciprocation? Where's my payout for constantly giving of myself? And this is definitely a space that I see a lot of moms fall into, but it can happen in any kind of relationship. It can happen in friendships. It can happen in professional relationships, where if you feel like you are sacrificing yourself right now, and that you're constantly giving, and you're online, and you're like giving to, you know, and you're giving your attention away to all the people who are making posts on Facebook, and you're giving your attention away to, you know, family members who are upset about different things, and you're just giving and giving and giving, before you ask for that reciprocation, I would say the best thing that if I could like go back in time and give advice to my past self of like, you know what, you feel like you're giving yourself away to everything and everybody, rather than asking for reciprocation from them, maybe take a moment and give back to yourself first. Give back to yourself first. And when you do that, something really kind of magical happens, and that is you actually have more to give, not less. Okay, so when you take time for yourself, you end up with more energy to project out, and it doesn't feel like you're sacrificing anymore. It doesn't feel like you're bleeding out. It feels like you're radiating that energy, right? So the importance of self-care comes back to that, and this is why it will often make you a better person, right? It will make you more magnified, the person that you are. This is the beauty and the magic of fitness. It goes beyond the physical. It goes beyond looking sexy. It goes into the manifestation of the person that you were intended to be, and your ability to project love and care for others, because the more you invest in yourself, the more you glow, right? The more you shine, the more that you're able to project out into the world. So as bad news happens, as shit is hitting the fan, before you give, before you say, okay, I'm going to donate all of my time or dedicate all of my money and my time and my effort to a cause, before you dive headlong, and I get it. When I get passionate, I like to go without thinking, right? I like to dive first, think later. But before you do that, and I'm not telling you to take a lot of time, but I am asking you to just try pulling back for a moment, investing some time in yourself. If that's a quiet cup of tea by yourself with a journal, thinking about the things that you're grateful for. If that is a good workout with friends where you get a sweat on, you get those endorphins kicking. If that's a beautiful walk outside, whatever you can do for yourself today, do it. Take that time. Take the time to appreciate who you are, what you've been through, and what you currently have. Take stock of your resources. And I guarantee you, no matter how bad things are, there are some kind of resources for you, right? So take that time for some gratitude for yourself. Get yourself fortified. Do something good that's both, like good for your body and for your soul, or whatever, like body-mind connection, right? And when you do that, then you will make a better decision about where to project that energy, right? Fortify yourself first, project energy second. If you need help, and if you are if you are not yet a part of the Nerd Gym and you would like to be part of a supportive community, and you do agree with certain progressive liberal aspects of basic human rights, like, please go to www.thenerdgym.com and sign up for any membership level. We do have all of the levels giving you all of the access right now during COVID-19. So it's basically, our membership levels are essentially acting like a sliding scale / honor system right now. I know everybody's at a different income level right now. A lot of people are still losing jobs. Still. Right? It hasn't gone away. It's still a thing. So join at the membership level that you can afford. It helps support the community. If you're unsure, if you're like, I don't know if I kind of like what this crazy lady's saying on the internet, this weird lady, but I don't know if I actually want to learn fitness from her or not. Go ahead and sign up for the 15-minute free consultation with me. The link is right in the description of the various membership levels. You can sign up for that. You can talk with me in person. We'll see if what we provide at the Nerd Gym, the live fitness classes, the nutrition, all that stuff, if that is right for you and your goals. And I will be totally honest with you if I think it's a good match, if I think I can help. And I do have, I call them frenemies. I do have people who are in the fitness community who I appreciate their approach to fitness and who I disagree with on a political level. So if you're listening to this and you're like, well, I don't want to work with this liberal weirdo. I want to work with this person, but I do need that sense of community. I do need the fitness. I do need the de-stress. I can refer you out to somebody who I agree with in fitness, if not in politics. But where are my people? Come on, let's do this. Let's take over the freaking world. Let's make it a better place. Let's get ourselves in check and fortify the self so that we can project into the world and make it into what we need it to be, not only for ourselves, but for the people we love. Okay, if anybody actually made it through that entire rant, thank you. I appreciate you. And I will see you next time for a less ranty and more Q&A focused Nerd Gym Live. So if you have questions, if you have actual fitness questions, go ahead and ask. I promise the next one will be less ranty and political and a little bit more fitness oriented. I just got fired up today, y'all. Too much coffee, too much bad news, and too much gratitude and appreciation for all my awesome people who show up at the Nerd Gym. Thank you. High five, high five, high five.